Speaking of things that I am really tired of, is Zionists and genocide cheerleaders pretending that they're in danger somehow and doing the never again routine when never again is right now. It's happening in Gaza. It's happening in Palestine. So when you keep doing things like that, posting things like that and saying, oh, never again, you mean for you. Because what about never again for the Palestinians? How come nothing applies to them? How come Palestinians don't have a right to defense? When do you hear Palestine has a right to exist? When do you hear Palestinians have a right to defend themselves? When do you hear, oh, never again, including for Palestinians? No, you don't. Instead, you see total vapid imperial feminism identity politics, never again, showing exploiting and weaponizing the Holocaust. I mean, that's probably one of the most grotesque things I've seen come out of this whole thing is seeing Zionist cheerleaders for genocide and death and destruction in Gaza weaponize the Holocaust and use the suffering from the Holocaust as a way to defend and excuse what they're doing to the Palestinians. That's probably one of the most vile things that I've seen. Because it's one thing if you want to be a genocide cheerleader and you want to do genocide denial of what's happening to the Palestinians and what the IOF and the Israeli regime with our assistance in the United States is doing to the Palestinians. But then to turn around and then use what happened in the Holocaust, the suffering of the Holocaust, and use that to justify your genocide of the Palestinians. I mean, it's really next level. It's really depraved on a level that's like hard to comprehend how somebody could do that. Yesterday, another person who did that while they ignore what happens to the Palestinians was do you guys know who Michaela Peterson is? She's like Jordan Peterson. Guys, you know what? I need to create like a burner account on X so that I can see Jordan Peterson's tweets because I really miss seeing Jordan Peterson's deranged tweets and I can't see them anymore because he blocked me. Here it is. Okay. So here's Michaela Peterson, who is Jordan Peterson's daughter. Jordan Peterson of same fame who pretended to be like a moderate and a philosopher and very like calm and measured and everybody just calmed down and is like a psychotic Zionist doing propaganda for the genocidal Israeli regime and like having meltdowns about Elmo on Twitter. That Jordan Peterson, a stupid person's idea of a smart person, and basically hoodwinked a bunch of very insecure young men into making him a multimillionaire. So she gets on her little soapbox and is crying about how people refer to her as a rat or people call people rats, something like that. So she was like getting in a fight with Nick Fuentes and she's crying about it. But then they have nothing to say about people who call Palestinians vermin. Yeah, it's almost like never again is just something you weaponize. So this is her.
Clarify, I think calling individuals rats or whatever is fine, particularly if they are rat-like. I think it's different when you're referring to an entire nation of people as rats that have been subject to, say, Hitler less than 100 years ago. When the Nazis of the 1930s,
who defines who's rat-like? Absalom Jones. It took me a second to realize you were impersonating Jordan Peterson. You're a cultural Marxist. You're a cultural Marxist. Up your Ziggy with a wah-wah brush. Oh my gosh, it's so amazing. Okay, so after she did that, calling people a rat's anti-Semitic, unless you're doing it individually, but then who decides? Who decides who's a rat individually? Because I think Pete Buttigieg looks like a rat. So can I say he's a rat? Like, how are we deciding the rules here? And then she says that right after this genocidal Twitter account says about people fleeing in Gaza, civilians fleeing in Gaza. He says, running like mice from one area to another. Next time, don't essay and kill people. You got that? So he's calling that grandma, okay? He's claiming that this grandma and all these children, first of all, this is the kind of shit that is next level psychotic, next level deranged. He's calling a bunch, whoever this account is calling a bunch of Palestinian civilians fleeing from the destruction and the genocide. And when I say flee, I don't even mean flee because they're trapped. They're trapped. They are a besieged population literally trapped in a cage. So they can move from northern Gaza into central Gaza, down to southern Gaza, and then back into central Gaza, and then back into northern Gaza. But they actually really can't flee anywhere because they are trapped in a cage. Some might call it a concentration camp. So as they're trapped in this concentration camp, this lunatic first calls them mice. So he's comparing them to vermin. Where's calling Michaela Peterson? Paging Michaela Peterson. Where you be? Where you be? Someone's calling someone vermin. A whole people. Not an individual. They're calling a whole people vermin. They're calling grandmothers vermin. They're calling children vermin. Where have we seen that before? Also, claiming that all these people next time the children and the grandmothers don't rape and kill. So, and then they're just perpetuating their hoaxes, their atrocity propaganda hoaxes that never happened. They're perpetrating those again, of course, because that's how you justify genocide, is by repeating your propaganda hoaxes. Remember when they pretended to care about political correctness? Jordan Peterson pretending to care about political correctness. I love it. It's amazing. Peterson calling innocent civilians cowards. I know. They really have some nerve calling anybody else a coward. They really do. I love that. Political correctness.
You want to be. See, you're going to go have an honest conversation with your physician when he's terrified out of his mind that he'll say something politically incorrect during the diagnostic processes. Hey, man, you're sick with whatever you want to be.
What happened to being against political correctness? What happened? I thought we were against political correctness here. Weird. Jordan Peterson shaking hands with Netanyahu, likes to come across as intellectual, say he wants to understand the complexities of the Middle East. So why not speak to Palestinians? Exactly. Oh, this picture is just, it says 1,000 words. 1,000 words. It's so perfect. And you know what's amazing? That tweet from Richard Medhurst is from 2022. So this was well before October 7th. Yeah, Glenn Greenwald is right about all these frauds. All of these people this is what I want you to understand. I don't know if anybody in the chat right now is like a right winger or a previous fan of Ben Shapiro or Jordan Peterson. Here's what I want all of you guys to remember and understand. Every single one of these people made millions and millions and millions of dollars by being pro-free speech and anti-cancel culture. That's how all of them made money. You guys remember the intellectual dark web? Remember that? Lamau. Of all these people being like, we're anti-cancel culture. We're pro-free speech. Pro-free speech. Up yours, woke nihilists. But all the free speech absolutists, like Rafe Dubin and Barry Weiss and Ben Shapiro and Jordan Peterson and Sam Harris and the Weinstein brothers. Who am I forgetting? That was in the intellectual dark web. All of them suddenly became advocates for censorship when it came to the Israeli regime. Yeah, what happened to that? What happened to that, guys? What happened to free speech absolutism? What happened to being anti-cancel culture? And then all of them cheered as people who spoke out against the Israeli regime got canceled. No one suffers more from cancel culture than pro-Palestinian activists and Palestinians. The pro-Palestinian activists and Palestinians have been more affected by cancel culture and more affected by censorship than anyone. But have you seen any of these frauds defend them? Defend BDS? Have you seen any of these frauds defend them or defend BDS? No. On the contrary, you've seen them cheer it. They cheer when professors get fired. They cheer when BDS is made illegal in a certain state. They cheer when pro-Palestinian activists lose their jobs. They are so full of shit. So full of it. I want you all to remember, okay? I want all of you to remember, and I hope that you do, never to trust anything that comes out of these people's mouths again. Because you do have Ben Shapiro trying to come back. Yeah, you're right, Wesley. Barry Weiss was getting pro-Palestinian professors fired before it was cool to do so. Yeah. Oh, yeah. She was an early pioneer. I just want for everyone to remember this, to never trust anything any of these people say. Like, don't fall for their shtick again. Don't. You have, what is his name? Why am I forgetting his name? Oh, right now, Ben Shapiro's show, he just went on this rant about how he spoke in front of Congress about how media companies are targeting the right. And I'm like, really? You're going to pretend to do this routine again? Really? Really? I have a question. How dumb are Ben Shapiro's viewers? How dumb are you guys? Especially those of you who are paying for his premium subscription. He literally comes out and is like, I went to go speak on Congress about censorship and censoring right-wing voices. Meh. You literally fired one of your employees because they criticized the Israeli regime. You literally cheered as billionaire Zionists like Bill Ackman put on X that he would not hire anybody that criticized Israel. And you were cheering him for that. And you want us to believe that you're against censorship? Get out of here. Hello, Jack Foster 37 from Twitch. Get out of here. Get all the way out of here.